How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Audacious Round with Burn and Rye. It's the month of love, Black History Month as well, which is also love in general. With Valentine's Day coming up, this is, I feel like, the first time in a while that we're actually getting more Valentine's Day themed movies, because I feel like last year nothing really came to mind, and even the year before, I don't really think of anything that came around that time. I could be misremembering. I can't talk either, but Bert and I are gonna be doing a double feature for y'all today. A double feature review. We haven't done it in a minute, but with the certain circumstances, the movie's out. It's like, you know what? Let's divide and conquer, like those two raptors in Jurassic Park, or like the Strangers movies. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those. I only saw one, the one that came out last year, and it was awful. So, So we're going to be talking about the latest films to grace our presence, both kind of on different genres, really, which is Heart Eyes, which I had the pleasure of seeing. I don't really know the cast that well, I apologize. Mostly new people. The only one I do know is that the main guy was from the last two Scream movies. He's kind of the replacement for like David Arquette's character in a way. So there's that from like the Scream franchise. And the chick, like I said, I don't know. I have no idea who she is. So it was kind of nice to see a younger cast, a more unknown cast. And then we're also going to talk about another film in the action genre, which is Love Hurts, starring I apologize. How do you say the main actor's name? I don't want to butcher it.
Kwan.
Thank you very much. And Ariana DeBose. Didn't want to ruin his name because it's just I don't know if it's worse not attempting it. Either way, I'm ignorant. Anyways. These are non-spoiler reviews for both, so don't worry about it. We're not going to get super deep into them. And then this is also an interesting thing that I have not seen Love Hurts, where I saw Hard Eyes, and same for Burn. He saw Love Hurts. He didn't see Hard Eyes. So we're going to split it up for you guys. So if you do like the video, please give us a thumbs up to just show your support. Ring the bell for notifications, and of course subscribe. We appreciate you all for doing that and watching our videos and listening to us rant. So hopefully you guys rant a little bit after watching us too. Anyways, I guess I'll go first since, alphabetical order. Heart Eyes essentially is about, a serial killer that emerges in major cities around Valentine's Day, kind of killing couples just in general. No real pattern to it or anything. It's just kind of like a random serial killer, which actually kind of makes it a little bit scarier too. And that's when the main character, played by Olivia Holt, she meets Mason Gooding, who's the lead interest from Scream. And on Valentine's Day they meet each other, and then they also have to survive a serial killer. So I would say this is probably the best combination of the Scream movies and Thanksgiving from 2 years ago, directed by Eli Roth, just because it's definitely on the comedic side more so than scary or like straight up slasher, but it's also got some really gnarly kills and some intense moments. So watching the trailers, I thought this is gonna be one of the dumbest things ever. Kind of like the Valentine's Day remake that came out like 10 years ago or something. I just remember thinking that movie looked like garbage. Most Valentine's Day horror movies are garbage in general. Who are we talking about? But this is actually really fun. I want to go see this movie again because it was that good. I think it's definitely the best slasher I've seen in a while. Because there really hasn't been slashers lately, I don't think. We had Nosferatu, we had Longlegs. Yeah, there really hasn't been any that caught my eye, but this one, I guess
the last one would be Terrifier 3, right?
Yeah, even Terrifier 3 I don't even consider slasher to a certain extent, just because it goes beyond it's just the gore and the violence that kind of take it from slasher and just straight up, horror, like, torture porn kind of thing. So, I guess Terrifier 3 would definitely be up there, so I apologize for that. But I highly recommend this movie, especially if you're into horror. Maybe you're in a good relationship with somebody that also likes horror, or you just want to watch a fun movie, kind of like Companion. Like, that one was really fun to watch. So this one I'm going to give a hard 4 out of 5. Definitely recommend seeing it whenever you get the chance. A great movie for the season, because while it is a slasher movie, it does have a lot of love in it. So don't forget that for all you ladies and dudes out there. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. So now that I've finished talking and airing myself out, Byrne, why don't you fill us all in on Love Hurts and what that movie was like?
Yeah, so Love Hurts is about a realtor, played by Ki Hee Kwan, who, when a past flame shows back up into his life, played by Ariana DeBose, his past secret life also starts to come back and haunt him, essentially. So it's kind of one of those things where, you have this guy, think of like Nobody, and that makes sense where it's like the same production company that has done that movie, and then all the John Wick movies, 8711. They kind of have that similar thing of this the guy who tries to make a new life for himself, but the past just catches up with him for one reason or another. In this case, it's because of love, fitting in with the theme of the Valentines thing that's going on this weekend. Getting ahead of it, I guess. But yeah, so that is the essential premise of it, and like as I mentioned, it is an 8711 production, so it's definitely on the side of the action comedy, I guess action rom-com type of genre, where the action sequences here are very much in the vein of movies like Nobody and the John Wick movies, where they're highly choreographed and really well shot. So I'm glad it stays along the lines of those, where, yeah, you get to see these really cool and creative action sequences, and you can see them all fine. You're not like that's one of the things that they've really nailed with a lot of their movies lately, is just being able to not have to rely on the edit to make the action kinetic and interesting. They've done a good job of being able to capture all that. And that's about as much of a nice thing I could say about this movie, unfortunately. I do think Ki Hee Kwan and Ariane DeBose are giving their best efforts here, but unfortunately, the script very much is undercooked in terms of how well it explores their characters and their past, and how we got to the point we are with them, and why things should make sense the way that they're presented to us. In terms of them two together, I really have to say, for me at least, that their chemistry wasn't really believable, in terms of like buying them as this couple that, having been away from each other from a long time, and now seeing each other, those flames like spark up, and you're supposed to be like, oh, these are like star-crossed lovers, and they haven't been able to be together for one reason or another. But here it's just, it feels so forced. Like neither actor really feels like they connect in that sort of way. Not that they're bad individually. It's just there are certain times where it feels like this love story isn't really working, because I don't really feel that connection between the two of them. So that was a little bit unfortunate. In terms of like the comedy stuff, it is funny here and there. I think Marshawn Lynch and Andre Erickson, they play like a comedy duo basically in this movie, where all their scenes are together and with each other, and they're pretty funny for the most part. I mean, Marshawn Lynch has a very good, surprising comedic chops. If for people who have seen him in the shows like The League, or in the movie Bottoms that came out a few years ago, he very much does that here too. He's really funny and reliable, and his interactions with Andre Erickson are good too. But yeah, outside of like a few fun moments and some good action sequences here and there, it's just the movie just feels like a complete mess in terms of all the other elements of it, in terms of like the character backstories, in terms of telling a fun and interesting story here, and like weaving in the Valentine's like themes around there. It just doesn't feel like it quite comes together, and that is a little bit unfortunate, because the director here, Jonathan Eusebio, is a first time director, and it does feel that way, where it feels like, in terms of the action sequences, they do work, because it seems like he was a stunt coordinator on a lot of these other movies. But in terms of all the other elements that have to make a movie interesting, it's just, they're not quite there. And that is a little bit unfortunate to say. So for me, this one is going to be I hate to say it, but it is a 1 out of 5 for me. Yeah, there just wasn't a lot here that worked, and it hurts me to say, because I want first time directors to succeed, and especially with stunt backgrounds like we've seen succeed. Well, Chelsea Stahelski, and I forget the guy's name who directed the Netflix movies with damn,
I want to say it's Derek Kolstad, isn't it?
Derek Kolstad, yeah, who did the movies with the guy that played Thor, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
The Extraction movies, yeah.
That's That's a different guy. He worked with the Russos on that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish your thoughts, Brent. I'm gonna look that up because now
But
I'm
yeah,
thinking about
so
that.
lately we've had that sort of going from stunt coordinator or second unit director into full on directors, and it's Jonathan Eusebio. Unfortunately, doesn't succeed as well as the other guys did. But there are elements here, like I said, with the action sequences that do feel like they are promising in some aspect, but this one just feels like a misfire overall. And with all the people involved in it, again, we have two Oscar winners here with Kiki Kwan and Ariana DeBose, and yeah, unfortunately they couldn't make it more work as much as I wanted it to.
Yeah, because I thought that movie actually looked pretty entertaining, so that's kind of a bummer with the low rating and stuff like that. And it was actually Sam Hargrave. That's the one who worked with Chris
That
Hemsworth
sounds
on
right.
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, so well, like I said, everyone, we had. I really liked Hard Eyes. Bird did not like Love Hurts. So for those of you who did happen to catch it this weekend, or maybe end up watching it next week, coming up for Valentine's Day, feel free to just comment. Let us know what you guys thought, just to keep the conversation going. But until next time, everyone, I hope everybody is having a good month so far, and for all you couples out there, have a good Valentine's Day, love month, all that stuff. But stay bodacious and keep on writing for us.
absolutely. Everybody, be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.